Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be an ASMR version of a watering and new growth video that I had previously uploaded. I hope you guys enjoy. And if you're not into ASMR, please feel free to click out. I usually start off the day by opening up the blinds, and then I'll take a moment to hit pause and just stare at my plants for a little bit before I start my work day. I usually start my day at about 8 a.m. in the morning, and I start logging into work. Work has been a little bit more busy these days, so I usually start the morning off pretty busy, and I'll work all the way through until lunchtime where I can take a short break, and then I'll continue working again throughout the day into the evening. In the morning, I like to start off the day by making a cup of iced milk tea. I love drinking milk tea, and starting my morning off with it is just what I want. I add hot water first to steep the milk tea, and then I'll add ice to fill it up the rest of the way. I would turn on the grow lights in the morning. And now it's time to start watering the plants. This is also the time where I can have a moment to myself. The way I water my plants, I usually just lift the pots to see if it needs watering, just by telling the weight. Unless I already know that the plant needs watering just based off of the watering schedule. I usually water my plants just about enough where I know the water will seep out of the drainage hole just a little bit. There are times where I water it a little too much and the water overflows past the saucer or the tray, and that causes a mess. So I usually have to clean up afterwards. This plant here that I'm ordering is living in a planter with no drainage. So I always try to lift it before I water it just to make sure that it is not being overwatered. Another plant that I've been loving is the lipstick plant. I used to have the common type, I believe it's called the Mona Lisa. And now I've started collecting all the different types of lipstick plants. That one you just saw is the Gracilles one. And I recently acquired a couple more. Here is my water meter from RT1 Home. I really like the design of it. It's very minimal and it fits right into my aesthetic. I'm showing you guys how it works here. When the soil is dry, it's white. And after you water it, it slowly turns to blue. And over here, I'm showing you guys some new growth that I've noticed. This is my Hoya Honey. I noticed these two new foliage coming through and they are just so adorable. And they look like they are a little bit sun-stressed, which makes them even prettier. The veining on this new growth is probably my favorite thing about them. It's so prominent and beautiful. Next, I wanted to show you guys this Hoya chingensis. It's one of my favorite small-leaved Hoyas. And it started off with just one tiny little vine. But now, as you can see, it has become multiple vines. And it's starting to put out another one. Here's a picture of what it used to look like when I first got it. And now it's got a lot of long, beautiful growth. The growth pattern of this particular Hoya is so gorgeous and adorable. It has this alternating pattern, and the little succulent leaves are just so perfect. Next is my Hoya carnosa narrow leaf form. This is one that I repotted into terracotta in a prior video, and I mentioned how I felt like this plant did so much better in terracotta prior to me moving it into a nursery pot. So now I moved it back into this terracotta pot, and guess what? It started putting out new growth for me. So I guess it does like terracotta, or at least I think so. Here is the new growth. It's putting out two new leaves, and they are just so adorable. Victoria, Kentiana, Lori Lynn. I wanted to show you guys that one leaf that's super pink. That's the newest leaf, and it's so pretty. It came out extra pink. I have this guy under grow lights, and the foliage has maintained that really pretty pink margin. Then my husband made lunch. This was via Blue Apron, so he just followed the instructions. And Ollie was getting a shower that day as well. He's really good about getting showers, so he really doesn't mind it at all. We usually shower him about once a month, but if we notice he's getting, extra dirty, then we'll give him a shower in between. My husband and I usually take turns showering him. That we use for Ollie. I really like it, and I really like the smell of it. You just need that much, and that's good enough for his whole body. After he's done, it's time to dry him. We usually use 2 towels to dry him up. He does have quite a bit of fur, but his fur dries up pretty quickly. He loves the spa days because he gets so much attention.
Ear, right?
I also make sure to clean his ears after a shower, just in case any water gets in. You have to make sure to clean it to prevent any ear infection. So we just use cotton pads and I go in and just dry it up. His ears are usually pretty dry, but just in case.
Okay.
Afterwards, we let him run around, and he usually have the zoomies after showering. So we play with him for a little bit. I usually cover the sofa with this blanket. It's become his blanket, really, just to prevent any water from getting onto the sofa. And we just chase him around for a little bit. He's really quick on his feet. And I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this